Hello, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu little stream. Irongeek cast number 160.6 lockdown. We're talking about various things here shortly. I'm trying to see if things will actually catch up. I have different windows open, and I'm still trying to get used to the new streaming software style because Jitsi is not being a happy camper. Okay, let's see if this updates. Okay. It looks like it may not update if I'm on a different screen. Very annoying. Anyway, out on Twitter, I put a link where you could get a hold of this. I'm doing this on Tuesday, March 24th at 7 p.m. So if it's not close to that time, you may not want to join. But if it's the next hour or two, go ahead and try to join the Jitsi link I put on my Twitter. Currently, Indiana, at least I think it's tonight, close to midnight. We're supposed to go on lockdown and no unnecessarily travel out of our homes. I mean, you can go out to things like the doctor to take care of someone else, to the grocery and so forth. But beyond that, we're not really supposed to be leaving our home, which is quite an annoyance in some cases. But, I mean, I've got things stocked up pretty well. I also have some more MREs on the way. I kind of like those things. People call them all sorts of things like, what is it? Meals rejected by the enemy, meals that refuse to exit, and meals rejected by Ethiopians. But personally, the ones I've had, the worst ones, have only been meh. So if anybody wants to join, let me see. Oh, we got a different Adrian on here. Let me see if they want to join. As I said, this is something to kill time while I'm in semi-isolation. But I don't know, we'll cover a few news items and so forth. Here's the situation that's currently going on in Indiana. We got several different executive orders. Ooh, this might be an interesting one. Relating to carry-out consumption of alcohol. I actually haven't drank anything in like a week because, well, various reasons. But, you know, my understanding is it does lower the immune system. Not that I'm at a particularly high risk. The stats I've seen so far, for someone my age, there's about a 0.4% chance. Oh, we got someone joining. I'm not all alone. Oh, by the way, you can use something called Gravatar to set an avatar, and I think you can go into your settings. Down the bottom right corner settings, and you can set some kind of name for yourself. Say hello. Or don't. Anyway, welcome on and to joining.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, I'm on the mobile app.
Ah, cool. There should be a still way of setting settings, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Ivan. I'm Dr. AMG.
Oh, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Good. Trying to figure out the camera here. Doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, I have mine off because I've developed a double chin from lack of working out. Here, I'll do a MySpace angle.
Nah.
I wonder how many people know what a MySpace angle is now. I realized that was only like 15 years ago that shit was popular, but still.
MySpace.
You
Are they
said
still up?
Was that? Are they still up?
They gotta be.
I would assume so. You said it was Dr. what now?
AMG.
Dr. AMG. Well,
Yeah, I've been on a few of your podcasts now.
Okay.
Or at least watching the live stream.
And they got you on lockdown also? We still not supposed to leave home?
Yeah, I'm essential. I gotta go to work, but pretty much in New York State. No unnecessary stuff. But
yeah, New York seems to be getting the worst of all this.
Yeah, that is true.
And I guess that's because people are on top of each other. I haven't heard much from LA. I figured that would have to be bad, but I guess LA is more spread out.
Yeah.
I've heard from people that LA is one of those places you might almost get someplace faster walking. I mean, someplace in the Louisville area, if it's 10 miles away, I can usually get there pretty damn quick. But my understanding in LA, things can drag out forever.
Yeah, it seems like the way they did it is, put everybody on lockdown, and then they said, well, except for essential this, essential that, and it's pretty much based on the list they gave us that everybody's essential. There's like bowling alleys that are closed and some other places, but mostly everybody is,
I know
normal day-to-day life.
I know some places liquor stores were considered essential.
Yeah. Yeah, they're open here.
How about gun stores?
They're still, I think last time I checked, they're still open.
Okay. Yeah, luckily I have a situation where I can largely work from home, and my boss has told me not to come in, and the general organization policy is we're supposed to work from home until I think, well, I'm not sure from work. I know Indiana, I think we have the lockdown starting tonight, and then it's supposed to go to like April 7th, and then we'll see what happens. You have any idea in New York what the case is?
Probably the same, roughly. The curve is not getting any better based on what they're saying, so it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, I think.
My S&P 500 is not happy.
No. Today is not bad.
No, I haven't actually looked today. I'll actually.
Today was a great day. It went up 12%.
Let me just try. Yeah, it's pretty bad to see when like a third of your the money you have saved up in stocks goes away.
Yeah, mine's definitely down quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it is. It is up today. That's nice.
Yeah,
still super.
Sure, it'll change.
I mean, once we can cancel this out, and hopefully we won't get hit as bad as Italy.
Yeah, I know, man. It's pretty bad there.
My understanding, the problem with Italy, there's several different things going on with that. One is my understanding the population is a little bit more aged. My understanding smoking is more common. I heard that in some cases they counted certain complications that cause death, most of the coronavirus, but I'm not sure on that details. Also, my understanding is that they're a very huggy, kissy kind of culture.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, They do I don't know if you ever watched Sopranos, but they do the, kissing the cheek kind of, like the two-cheek kiss.
I need to find this video. There's this video where they were worried about animosity towards people of Chinese origin. So this mayor, this was like, I want to say in early February. No, maybe it was, I think it was early February. To fight this animosity that he felt that people were having towards Asians, he had this like hug a Chinese person day. Where they walk up and hug each other. I'm like, okay, I understand you don't want people to have animosity towards each other, but maybe people who just came, that may or may not have recently come from an area where an epidemic had happened, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, so much for the social distancing.
The Chinese tourist. Let me see if I can find this bad boy. Let me see if this will actually play and continue playing. I'm going to use this new software. Unfortunately, Jitsi, maybe it's because everybody in the brother is teleconferencing, and Jitsi is like a free teleconferencing software. I think it's overwhelming their systems.
Seems to be working well. It's a little choppy, but...
Yeah, the Jitsi part seems to be working basically okay. But it won't let me actually stream any place. Alright. We'll read some comments. Is anybody out there? Yes, we are. Sup, Irongeek? Hello, Clayton. Let's see. Show bobs? I think I'll avoid showing my bobs. Oregon is in lockdown too, according to Jason Daniel Stone. Let's see. Gun stores are basically closed in Michigan, I take it. With our lockdown, beer and liquor are fine. Nelson Mendez, in the area of Germany where I live, only supermarkets and pharmacies are open. Okay, fair here. Peyton Felcher, and some real shit. This pandemic is the effects of hemorrhaging late-stage capitalism. Okay. Hugs an Asian. Boomer remover. Okay, that's a Bedford Crenshaw. No relation. I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's a relation. More than willing to hug a Chinese girl, especially if they have an interest in penguin breeds. What if she had the bird flu, though? Then again...
China virus.
China virus, oh shit. People got way too upset about using that. I don't think it's as accurate because there's a whole lot to China. Calling it the Wuhan virus is probably a much more accurate way of putting it because you're pinpoint to a general area. Personally, I like the term Winnie the Flu because the leader looks like, well, he looks like Winnie the Pooh. Oh, and Adrian, not me Adrian, but a different Adrian, you can still get weed in Michigan too. MI is Michigan, I believe, right?
Sure.
All right, let me play this video. I'm watching the test stream to see whether or not it's actually coming through the feed.
Yeah, it looks like it's not.
Looks like it finally is. I don't know.
No, there it is.
Oh, by the way, people, let me know in the chat how sound is. Unfortunately, it's currently looping back to my microphone. Here's an annoyance I have. I found out the way to capture my audio directly from the sound system of the Mac, but you have to install these special extensions to do it. Unfortunately, the problem with that is if I have my voice on my microphone coming in at the same time as that, I have this echo effect to everything, which is really freaking annoying.
For the means of our own survival, I think we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. This crisis has underscored just how critical it is to have strong borders.
All right, I don't really need any more of that. I'm trying to see what actually got shown on my screen. I just had something pop up.
Oh, there you go. I just saw some hugging.
Yeah, this is still a work in progress, which Jitsi would just go ahead and play as it should. Maybe I should put the hugging video in a link in the show notes. And the show notes, of course, always inside the down at the bottom. I'm going to talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm just killing time. I'm just going to go over some of these Indiana executive orders. Apparently there's something about carry-out consumption of alcohol. So I assume liquor stores are open. But apparently you can go into some places that are normally sit-down restaurants and get alcohol out.
I think in New York they started delivering alcohol. You can get it at restaurants now. Get it delivered.
Whereas closure of in-person services at dining entities effectively prohibits the sale of alcohol by holders of on-premise permits, resulting in financial hardships, and skewers the eligibility calculation for holders of carry-out permits, resulting in difficulty meeting the eligibility requirements. In light of the above, it is necessary and proper to take actions to protect the health and well-being of all Hoosiers in connection with the continuing involving threat that poses public. I don't want to read all that shit. It's crap. Apparently, there's ways you can get takeout alcohol, and I mean, it sounds like something beyond just. I mean, I don't know what exactly we're referring to because I know there's various pubs I can go to in the area. I can go in and order a growler and take it home. Because there's a couple breweries here in Naubany, Indiana. Got any good local pubs?
Yeah, there's a couple. A lot of microbrews up here. Quite a few, actually.
I have to imagine, yeah, hell, a little place in southern Indiana has a bunch. I think we have probably 3 or 4 in this fairly small city, so I imagine you would have a bunch.
Well, I think just like probably like hour drive where I live, all around there's, I would say, maybe 50 different breweries. There's quite a few.
Nathan Mendez says, Google Hangouts, please come back. You are forgiven. Yeah, Google Hangouts. You still have Hangouts, but you can't directly stream to you can't directly stream to YouTube. And this just reminds me, I forgot to turn off my overlay. Where is my OBS window? Let me turn off this overlay. There we go. That should be a lot better. Okay. Idristic? I don't know his name is going to be pronounced. Vancouver, British Columbia. 472 confirmed. 13 deaths. 100 resolved. All in all, that's not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
Versus some of the places out there. Again, if anybody wants to join, I'm going to toss the link in. Some of you people are too cowardly to actually join, unlike the doctor here. Now, there's 2 good sites I like for watching stats on coronavirus. One, and I have these in the show notes, which are linked in the description of the YouTube video, is worldmeters.info. Now, I've mostly been looking at the United States. I'm going to F5 this. So, 53,205, 687 deaths. And a fair amount more. Or maybe not. Oh, not as much as I thought it was going to jump. I'm hoping this stuff starts slacking off. And people giving people hell about the idea of opening the things back up and getting the economy going again. But those things to balance either way. Yes, you probably will save more lives from coronavirus by keeping things shut down. But eventually people have to work and make a living, bring in food for their family, not to mention depression and suicide rates and so forth. I don't know. There's other complications from keeping things closed down. What's your thoughts?
I think it's tough. I think, yeah, it'd be great to get the economy started again, but the cost of lives, I don't know, man.
Remember, we compare the cost of lives to what other things happen. Like, for instance, speeding on the highway or traffic accidents. I mean, if we make the speed limit every place only 15 miles per hour, how many thousands of lives can we save? Actually, look at traffic accidents per year. Yeah, I know this is cold-hearted shit to be talking about, but... Okay, I don't know if this is for the United States or worldwide. Nearly 1.25 million people die in road crashes each year on average. It's not telling me, though, if that's worldwide. It doesn't say United States only. Let me look up in U.S. I mean, you put things in perspective. I know it sounds cold-hearted, but...
I guess it all depends on your situation, I suppose. Because if you're jobless, you probably want to get back to work, get the economy going. You know?
Alright, this is in Wikipedia. Apparently in 2010, 32,999 people were killed. That does not count all the injuries and other such. So I'm assuming that previous figure I gave you is probably worldwide. Okay, let's back up and let's go back to... Oh, that's not what I want to go. Instead of US only, let's go with grand total worldwide. So, worldwide... 418,328 infected, 18,611 deaths, recovered 108 and 323. Sorry, 1,008. Shit, I can't speak tonight, man. And I haven't been drinking or anything. 108,323. And those curves do not look nice. So far, oh, someone's asking what is 7 EST UK time. Dude, find a conversion chart. I'm doing something else right now, so I don't know. What am I? Set 5 hours off Greenwich Mean Time, I think? Actually, you're on the same time zone I am, man. What is the difference between GMT and Eastern? Anyway, it's happening now, dude. I mean, I sent. Oh, let me check the live chat again. See what they got.
4 hour difference.
4 hour difference. Okay, for some reason I was thinking 5. Alright, I'm going to try to switch to that window and tell him, I think 11. If I can find the right window to actually send it to him in. Alright, let's see. Most cases is, of course, still China. Most deaths. Oh, that's new cases. I'm sorry, I'm wrong thing. Most deaths is Italy. Then China, then Spain. I wonder what's going on in Spain. Spain is a country you don't hear much about anymore.
Nah, you don't. I'm sure China has way more cases, but I think they stopped reporting.
Yeah, I don't trust any stats that are coming out of China.
No, no.
Don't trust China. China assholes. See, we should have listened to that guy from Hong Kong. And apparently, whatever South Korea is doing, South Korea must be doing pretty well. There's not much stats on Japan. Apparently, Japan is doing really well as well. Or they're not reporting, though the fact there's not a link here directly for Japan kind of concerns me. I was watching someone's video on why coronavirus isn't the biggest issue in Japan. And apparently they have a very, in their culture, they're very big into cleanliness. And they're not so much into touching each other. And they had that whole, at least some of them had the whole thing about taking off your shoes and so forth when you get in the door. And considering the way my carpet looks, that's probably a policy I should institute. Oh, we got another person join. By the way, you can go into your settings and you can set a name on yourself. By the way, Gravatar is how you can set an avatar. Who have we just been joined by in this lockdown stream?
I think it's me, Nelson Mendes.
Oh, what's up, Nelson?
Yeah, it's nice to speak with you, Adrian.
Nice to speak with you, Nelson.
It's I usually follow Irongeek cast, and I was curious. I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I was listening to you. And this corona craziness here in Europe, it's total crazy. I'm a Portuguese living in Germany.
Okay.
And it's how do you say, it's although the German stats for what I've been reading, they might be cooking them because if someone dies, they gone upon the death certificate that the person died of something else, and if they didn't do a test, it's not gonna count as a corona death. So, and I think it has also to do with the numbers in Germany. They're really taking lot of precautions here, because I'm living close to Cologne, and there's not a lockdown, but there's a there you are prohibited of having social contact. That is, you can only walk with another person close to you, and you have to leave always 1.5 meters. I don't know how much that is in foot, or the thing that you use in America.
About 5 feet,
You
6
have
feet. 6 feet is
how
what we
much?
probably about 6 feet,
6
because in the
feet.
United States, they've been telling everybody to not keep 6 feet away.
6 feet, probably it's that. So if you're in a queue or something like that, you have to leave that space, and it just started on, because you were telling about the economy and all that, and it's the federation here, Germany. Germany is divided in 16. Hello?
Hello, I'm still here. I'm just going back and forth between
Okay.
preview and not, because we've been having some problems getting the stream to go out to YouTube. I just turned off my webcam in the hopes that will help the bandwidth issue. Go ahead and continue, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Yeah, my connection is not good.
I used to live in Germany.
I'm gonna switch to another tab and see if that makes anything better with the bandwidth. And I turned off all my downloads and it's still causing issues.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, it's because I'm getting some feedback. I'm getting some feedback. So when you're listening to yourself, it's never a good sign.
Well, that's why you want to go ahead and mute one of them. I mean, you mute the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Though that's so delayed, it'd be really weird, because it'd be like 15 seconds or so.
Oh yeah, it's the YouTube channel. Yeah, you're right. Hello. Yeah. Where did you live in Germany? Here. Hello. The doctor. Where did you live in Germany? Hello.
Hello?
Where did you live in Germany?
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my. Is that how should I say it? I never lived there, but my family was in that area. I speak a little bit of German, and and now I'm interested in IT security, and I hear these webcasts, because I'm feeling that since I'm Portuguese, I think in Portuguese, and I'm speaking German day to day, my English is starting to break up. My English is starting to break up. So and it's
That's okay. I don't speak any of a language but English. I tried to pick up some Spanish, but I wasn't
Yeah,
particularly good at it.
yeah, yeah. The Portuguese, we understand a little bit of everything. So it's we're Portugal is right when you're saying that you don't hear news about Spain. Because Portugal, it's a little piece close. It's also in the Iberian Peninsula, and we're just a little piece of land, and we're landlocked on one side by Spain, and we have the sea on the other side. So, so there's a joke that the Portuguese went and did the discoveries and all that because it's much easier to get along with the sea than with the Spaniard. So, so much easier because, and you have, and the Spanish guys, they, yeah, today it's not so bad, but it's that history and all that. It's and I'm a little bit worried because I come from the south of Portugal, and we have really bad hospital facilities, and the corona situation is gonna be really. We never thought it would be so bad in Spain, and they have a better. For example, Italy, it's. I think it's a big surprise what's happening because. In the end, I believe, I think we shouldn't say that, but I think in the end, Trump is a little bit right in the sense that the Chinese should have, when they let the World Health Organization know, they said that they had a problem, but that it was under control. And
Well, didn't one time the World Health Organization release something like, as far as we know, human to human transfer isn't possible because I think China lied to them, and WHO is basically a mouthpiece. Or maybe I'm listening to conspiracy theories. I don't know.
Eh, eh, I think the biggest conspiracy that in this case it's my father but that makes sense when they say that this virus was man-made, and that conspiracy is we had the Spanish flu 100 years ago, and there was the plagues and all those virus and all that, because even those movies, the War of the Worlds and all that, these small organisms, they're really, really powerful. And even if man doesn't try anything, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. So the part of that was man-made, I think, is a little bit difficult. The problem was, since they're a dictatorship, they try to hide it, and I saw a webcast from a German economist, and he held a map from Italy with two charts. One of the regions, sort of an Italian county map of the counties with the most deaths and the counties with the most Chinese living there, and he made an association because the north of Italy, because they have an industrial base, they have a lot, and the textile base, they have a lot of travel between China, and they have a relative big Chinese community for Europe. And you can see in the map that the counties who have more Chinese are the counties where there are more deaths in Italy, and an association, because when the Chinese came back to Italy after the Chinese New Year, it was totally out of control. And if China had let them know that there was a problem and it wasn't out of control. And what I also read is that the Italians, it's not exactly the the social contact, but there's that tradition that the Latin countries, the Portuguese and the Spanish, also do that. That the parents leave the grandsons and granddaughters with the grandparents. There's this close family link, and that totally devastated. It's totally devastating Italy, because in Germany, for 2 or 3 weeks or for a month now, that they're closing the schools and making the parents stay at home, and that the children should not be with their grandparents. So they're taking that to heart. And I was doing the math today. Yesterday I was a little bit depressed, because if it's going bad in Spain, it's not going to be good in Portugal. So it's
Yeah, I got stats here for Portugal right now. Looks like on the site I have.
Which site? Let me see.
Yeah, it's World Meters Info. I have it in the show notes. If you're on the YouTube, mute it. But I have a link in the show notes to this place, worldmeters.info. It looks like the current stats are like 2,362 cases. Deaths are only 33. Recovered is 22. I'm not sure how many people live in Portugal, grand total, but it's
10 million. 10 million.
Okay, so it's very low.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that there's some of those homes with elderly people that they already asked the government for help. So there's around 150, 200 people that the virus it's already in those teen homes, so they're not gonna have much chance, because we have no, at the moment we have, it's really bad, and I decided not going home, because I'm exactly in the German state where the coronavirus is worse. So my father, he's 70, so
Okay.
I'm gonna stay put, and I'm gonna cross my fingers that, and I'm not gonna try not to stick it on him. So it's.
Now, some people in the media have been talking about some kind of concoction of a certain malaria drug and something else that could possibly, the way they said it, and I don't know enough about the biology of it, lessen the viral load and cause and help people develop an immunity to it. It's not a vaccine, but it helps keep things slowed down long enough for someone to hopefully develop an immunity. If I understand what I was hearing right. But now people are also blaming Trump because he announced what the chemicals were. And then someone on a website, not even necessarily directly tied to Trump, found that it was the same chemical, a similar chemical in some kind of aquarium additive. And the student and his wife started drinking some kind of aquarium additive. And I think she was in intensive care and he died.
That's just stupid. Can't blame anybody for that except for yourself.
Aquarium. Yeah, aquarium.
There's some kind of aquarium chemical, and I don't necessarily know the details. You know what? I might be able to find a news article on that. That might be interesting to watch.
I think it was a fish tank cleaner.
Well, you won't need to worry with coronavirus anymore. That's for sure.
That is true.
You don't need to, because it's.
Okay, that's not coming up on YouTube. I was hoping to find a quick video for it because my reading is not the best thing. All right, let me see if I can bring this bad boy up on the one of the screens. I'm done with the Indiana state government. I live in the state of Indiana in the United States, so I'm watching most what's happening in that state.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm right here on the border with Louisville, Kentucky, and also watching some of what's happening in Kentucky.
But there's not a lot of population there.
Well, let's take a look. Indiana. I mean, you gotta remember, a lot of our states are as big as some European countries. All right, Indiana's population is only 6.692 million.
It depends for how many square miles, right? How many inhabitants per mile. If people are close together, it's
Per square mile. 181 people per square mile. Well, let's figure out what it is for. Figure out what it is for Portugal. Okay, we're denser than Portugal apparently.
I don't know. I don't know. The region where I'm living has lots of people per square mile. So.
Well, I mean, and if you go to Indianapolis, Indiana, the people asshole to elbow. But you know, it depends on where you are in Indiana. Indiana has a large sections of nothing but cornfields. But if you get to someplace like Indianapolis, it's a pretty big city.
Yeah.
Now, the states you're thinking of are probably someplace like out in Wyoming and some of the places out further west, way before you get to California. Some of those places are probably, you know.
I have, with the Portuguese, with some crazy people, I have family. My grandfather came to Germany because his brother-in-law was here, but his brother-in-law didn't like Germany, so he went with my grandfather's sister to live in California, in San Diego. So I have family in San Diego, and I have a very good cousin of mine. He's married with a French woman, and he's living in New York. He's living in I don't know how he is, but I'm almost also interested in that because I have family in the U.S.
New York was going to be pretty dense. Oh, if you're thinking of a state that's pretty sparse, Wyoming, per square mile, it's only 5.8 people.
Yeah. I always have the idea that half of the U.S., it's a little bit like Kevin Costner living in that farm in the Field of Dreams.
Some places, but dude, places are dense, and I mean, like, it depends on where you're at. I mean, in Indiana, for instance, there's places where you can go, you know, long time where you're nothing but cornfields or soy fields. But then you have Indianapolis and up near Gary, Indiana, and down here. I mean, this is suburban sprawl where I am because we're basically a suburb of Louisville, Kentucky.
And I think there's a lot of people there, right?
Louisville's it's a decent sized city. It's not anything. It's not even the size of Indianapolis, but it's the biggest city in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I found this article. Let's see if it's gonna beg me for paying for something. Okay, a man fought aquarium cleaner with the same name as the antiviral drug chloroquine could prevent coronavirus. It killed him. All right.
I think you shouldn't disseminate that information. Someone might take it as.
Well, I'm disseminating that it killed him. Not that it's a good idea. I'm disseminating the idea that you shouldn't do this. All right, Shell, for just a second, let me see if I can. In Maricopa County, Arizona, a couple in their 60s watched politicians and news anchors on TV tout chloroquine, I may be pronouncing that, an anti-malarial drug that has shown the ability to disrupt some viruses, but that has not yet been proved effective against the novel coronavirus. That pharmaceutical name matched the label on a bottle of chemicals they used to clean the koi pond. NBC News reported The fish tank solvent that treats aquatic parasites contains the same active ingredient as a drug, but in a different form that can poison people. Actually, the other form can probably poison people if you give them enough of it. Pretty much any kind of drug will poison you if you take too much of it. I saw it sitting on the back shelf and thought, hey, isn't that the stuff they were talking about on TV? The wife, who was not named, told the network, we were afraid of getting sick. The couple reportedly poured some of the fish tank cleaning chemical, chloroquine, phosphate, into soda and drank it. They hoped it would stave off a coronavirus infection. Within 30 minutes of ingestion, the couple experienced immediate effects that sent them to the emergency room. A Banner Health spokesman said in a statement Monday, they felt dizzy and started vomiting. The husband died at the hospital and the wife is under critical care, according to the statement. Given the uncertainty around COVID-19, we understand that people are trying to find new ways to prevent or treat this virus. But medicating is not the way to do it. Self-medicating is not the way to do it. Daniel Brooks, Banner Poison and Drug Information Center medical director, said in the hospital statement, the last thing that we want right now is to inundate our emergency departments with patients who believe they found a vague and risky solution that could potentially jeopardize their health. Online hoaxes have inaccurate and dangerously suggested drinking bleach, dousing skin with chlorine, or consuming colloidal silver. They've also promoted largely harmless, but ultimately ineffective measures like gargling salt water, eating garlic, and taking a hot bath. One confused Florida official advised the public to use hair dryers to try and kill the virus, but later apologized. The World Health Organization has busted more than a dozen myths about how to prevent, treat, or cure the virus. There is no known cure for coronavirus. The best prevention measures are social distancing, hand washing, and avoiding touching your face, according to public health officials. But poisoned Arizona couple was not duped by disinformation online. Instead, they sought an at-home version of a real antiviral drug that some early reports suggest might help fight the coronavirus. Their mistake was deadly. There was no specific medicine recommended to prevent or treat the new coronavirus, according to the WHO. Not the band, but World Health Organization. Some specific treatments are under investigation and will be tested through clinical trials. The couple's confusion over chloroquine highlights why the best thing to do if you think you might be infected or exposed to the coronavirus is call your doctor rather than seeking treatment at home. President Trump has heralded chloroquine, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that name, perhaps in combination with an antibiotic, asthmaquin, as a potential game changer during a briefing on the coronavirus outbreak in the United States. He also encouraged people to ask their doctors for a prescription for existing antiviral medications like chloroquine, hydro, whatever, quin, and something else. Remdesivir, which are all being studied to determine whether they can help fight coronavirus. If you want, you can have a prescription, he said last week. What the hell do you have to lose? Some of these antiviral drugs have shown promise in small studies in China, France, and South Korea, but the limited research is dependent on small sample sizes and lacked control groups. Additionally, data is still needed to buttress claims that the medicines might help fight the pandemic. Because of those limitations, some researchers have said that it is insufficient evidence to support the antiviral drug's ability to treat COVID-19, the disease caused by the coronavirus. 2 weeks ago, a WHO official downplayed the speculative potential of the medicines. There is only one drug right now that we think may have any real efficiency, and that's Remdesivir. Bruce Allward, WHO Assistant Director General, said on March 11th. Last week, WHO launched an international clinical trial called Solidarity to more robustly test the four most promising antiviral treatments, including Remdesivir, and chloroquine. I need to have heard how these things are pronounced before I try this. Yet some doctors have prescribed those antiviral medications as a treatment and a prophylactic against the coronavirus already. So much so, in fact, that the supplies of chloroquine and hydrochloroquine in U.S. pharmacies have been widely depleted, and one drug maker temporarily suspended compassionate use access to remdesivir after demand spiked. All right, this keeps going on for a bit, but I think that's about enough of that.
I think that article had a very useful information. I think if you eat enough garlic, you can easily keep social distance from other people. No, it's true.
It didn't work for the Italians.
No, because they don't eat the right garlic. I eat lots of garlic 3 or 4 Sundays ago, and Monday when I went to work, my boss asked me, "Did you eat garlic?" so 12 hours later, I still had the stench of garlic in me. So if you eat enough garlic, you can keep people away from you. Because I think in the end, that article is public service. I didn't thought of that. It's really good.
Yeah, don't try to take random fucking medicines. It's one thing to get something prescribed for an off-label use. Like some people use Adderall as an off-label use for depression and so forth. But it's a different thing to try to start, finding chemicals around your house that are similar and using them. Oh, did you see that I don't know if anybody else saw this, but some gun company has had somebody do some cosplay as Corona-chan. Are you all familiar with Corona-chan?
No.
Oh, okay. Corona-chan's this meme. A while back, I think it was the 4chan people. They did some various other chans, like Ebola-chan. Basically, they make this cute anime-like figure to represent the personification of some disease. So there was at least Ebola-chan. I think there was a few other chans before this one, but sometime I think in maybe late January, they started producing Corona-chan. Here's some examples of Corona-chan. Like, I think this was the very first one. So you see this little lady in like a Chinese dress, got these little coronaviruses as her hair pieces. She has a Corona beer in her hand, and I believe that's a Chinese flag. And then people made other versions of this exact same thing. And I mean, people have gone hog wild making different versions of this.
Okay.
I'm gonna run through all these. You all can just keep talking about whatever experiences. Have you had any weird experiences in New York, there, Doc?
No, nothing. Just seeing people in the store still with a full, like, hazmat suit on and trying to go shopping for stuff. That was kind of weird. I get it, but I don't think we're at that level where you need a hazmat suit.
No, last week in the train, there was a guy who came on, and he was wearing one of those military-grade gas masks, and he stood up close to me, and then there was this tobacco stench coming out of his mask. So he had been smoking. So then he put the gas mask before he got on the train, and after 2 or 3 stops, he had to remove the mask because it was so hot inside. It's one of those. No, I think those. I think he was not that. He was a little bit crazy. I don't know. I think if you're going to use a military grade mask, I think you shouldn't be smoking. I think it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and the smoking, my understanding, is a comorbidity. Well, not comorbidity. What's it? Extra factor that makes well, seeing as it damages your lungs, it makes Corona Chan attack all that much harder.
Yeah. But if you're going on the street and not many people are wearing those masks because they aren't. There's no alcohol to disinfect your hands. There's no masks. There's no gloves, and even in Germany there's some. And I think it should go to the hospitals for the doctors and nurses who's
and
on
also
the front line.
my understanding, a lot of normal people don't understand how to use them. They'll do things with the mask that make it less effective. Like if you have to keep adjusting it and touching your face and so forth, my understanding was a certain way you're supposed to be using the masks and gloves, and when you take them off and where you dispose of them and so forth. I remember starting this one doctor complain on a stream I was listening to about people coming up to his door just taking off the gloves and throwing them on the ground, and I'm like, oh man, you're being an asshole about this.
Supermarkets in my area. You go to the supermarket and people litter the parking lot with those plastic gloves, and and you can see a difference between the European countries, because here people are going to the supermarket with those gloves, and in my country the doctors and nurses, they don't have gloves and masks, so it's total crazy. It's total crazy. Total craziness.
No, that one's a weird one.
Corona Chan.
Yeah, I basically collected about every Corona Chan I could possibly find.
You have a lot of free disk space.
Well, it's only images, not to mention I didn't really necessarily keep them all up. Well, actually, they probably all still on my phone, but I posted them all to Twitter. I have this magnum opus thread of much Corona Chan.
What taste.
Yeah.
My God.
Open wild, Earth child.
Because now the Chinese want to be the saviors, when in the end they made it worse.
Yeah,
So-
at one point apparently they were trying to blame the American military for somehow putting it in there. I'm like, bullshit.
American military.
Yeah,
What's
one time
the-
apparently they were trying to blame like the American army for putting the virus over there, and I'm like,
Nah,
I'm gonna have some doubts about that.
it's
Wait, I gotta read this. This is a personal ad for Corona Chan. Corona Chan, 19, 20 miles away. New in town, looking for some fun. From China, traveling to the world. Swipe left if you're a doctor or nurse. Swipe right, and I'll take your breath away and leave you in bed for days. Okay.
Of course you went right. Of course you went right.
Well, I don't know. She is cute at least. Yeah, there's a lot of jokes in here about bat soup too. 31,000 nuclear warheads couldn't kill communism, but I will. Unfortunately, it's also fucking with capitalism now too, which is pissing me off because of my S&P 500 stuff.
just hope that there's economy left in a few months. So
I mean, eventually we can get things back on track, but this is a massive pain in the ass.
I don't know. I'm working in a building that had 500 people working, and now there's 15 people working, and most of them are working from home. I do IT support, and I worked 52 hours last week. I worked 50 hours the other week, and and I feel that at the moment it's the doctors and whoever works in the hospitals that's on the front line, but for us to have any economy left and so people can work from home, IT and all that, we're gonna have to step up, and the network and the infrastructure, it's not going to cope with so many people working from home. So
yeah, but
it's breaking up.
And some jobs can't be done from work from home. Like if you're working at a restaurant or something, that's not something to be done from home. If you're a worker like an usher in a movie theater, not that we have ushers, but we have ticket takers, popcorn dealers, and so forth. I mean, there's certain jobs. Not everything can be work from home.
Yeah, I do hardware support, hardware IT support. So I cannot work from home. So no one. But now I started almost to be a help desk guy. So because now everyone's working from home and they're having problems. So, but I think I'm not going to be there much longer.
Oh, someone did some cosplay. Some gun company had some people do some cosplay for Corona Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Let's see what these people actually sell.
Cosplay.
Cosplay where people dress up in costumes, often as the favorite character in sci-fi or anime.
Yeah. I'm afraid to do.
I wonder if a lot of companies are going to see this as an opportunity to have people work from home. They're going to realize the overhead they're paying is not needed, and they can get the same work done.
For some IT jobs, I mean, not everything can be work from home, but
right,
a lot of IT jobs can be.
Right.
But there are some. I was just speaking with a friend that's working in the company where I was working, because I'm relatively new here in Germany. I'm here for 10 months, something like that. So my company in Portugal, my last company, has 95% of the people working from home. But in Portugal, when you're working from home, and it's for us to see that the European Union, it's not still, each country has its own laws, and laws that some of them doesn't make sense. In Portugal, if you're working from home, if you get a meal allowance, right? Usually if you're working in the office, you get a meal allowance. If you're working from home, you don't get that meal allowance and all of that. In Germany, if you're working from home, the company has to pay you an extra because you're using your own electricity and you use your toilet paper and the water in the bathroom. So if you're using your own resources, the company has to pay you an extra because you're working from home. And in Germany, if you're working from home, you're going to be compensated, because in the end they're going to be I think, like the doctor was saying, if I think I'm I'm pro home office. But most of the companies, they don't like it. I think it's a problem because if I think most managers are afraid of having the workers working from home, because you're gonna see that in the end the manager is no longer needed or something like that. There's a lot of always problems because the managers don't want people working from home. But there are countries that you're gonna be paid because you're having expenses because you're working from home for the company. And in other countries you get your meal allowance taken. You're not paid for anything, your electricity or nothing, when you're working from home, and your meal allowance gets taken away from you. So
On the bright side, you don't have to drive to work.
yeah, no, for me it's an advantage. You don't have to. But the question is, you have that everywhere, right? If the companies should just have a sort of a skeleton office, so where workers would go to work one day in the week or something like that, and to have the meetings. I think an intelligent company could save maybe at least 50-60% of the office space. 50-60%.
Yeah, I could see that. I think if I worked from home, I don't think I would get anything done. I got 3 kids running around.
Yeah, that would be a complex thing. I know Dave Kennedy, when he first started Trusted Sec, he was working from home for a bit, and he has 3 kids, and eventually he was like, okay, I got to rent office space someplace else.
Right, yeah, it's tough, man. It's real tough. But my job wouldn't allow any work from home because I got to be there physically.
Right.
Yeah, well, my job was one day a week in the offices, and then otherwise I could work at a facility down here closer to where I live, or work from home. And now it's just strictly work from home. And I think this will inspire more people to do work from home type jobs.
Right.
But don't you miss it all depends on the company and the colleagues. But if you're just working from home, as you say, I'm total pro working from home, but there's a little. You should go one day to the office in the week and all that you're part of the team. I think just working from home and to have that, I don't have any kids and all that, but for me, working from home, it's difficult to concentrate. If I could do it, if you're working from home, it's really difficult to concentrate. I don't know. I need the commute makes you on the mindset to I'm gonna go to work, and then you elevate your concentration levels. So
yeah, you kind of decompress on the way to work. You listen to a podcast or something, some music, and
It depends on where you work and how long of a trip you have. I mean, if I'm working at my local facility, not trying to. Well, it's easy to find out what organization I work for by a quick Google search. So what the fuck am I doing? But one place I could probably drive there quickly in 10 minutes. The other place is about an hour and 45 minutes away. Hey Charles, what's up?
What is going on?
Not a whole lot. Just having a little lockdown chat.
Hey guys.
hey man,
We got the doctor and Nelson on here.
All right.
I'm just gonna call him the doctor because I keep forgetting that the 3-letter acronym afterwards.
Me too.
AMG.
So, the lockdown. Well, I just feel for folks that have to go in, but I do think that eventually, like, here's the thing that I think is gonna eventually happen. So, say all of this clears up like a month from now, right? Just hypothetically. And how are you gonna get everybody's so used to working from home, and then that you know, in that mindset, how are you going to get all those people to come back in now? You know, I think this changes the way we do things now.
Well, for some jobs, yeah, maybe.
But for like, you know, like first responders and everything else, I just hope, you know, that everybody's just like being safe, and, you know, hopefully they can, you know, take their precautions as well too. That's gotta be tough, you know. Like, it's like being on the front line, seems like, you know, in a way. And so, in the meantime, if you're on like quarantine, if you're in a city where you have to be quarantined, like, try to figure out what you want to do. This is a perfect time for building your career aspects. Meaning, like, say if you're in a job or whatever, or a career that you don't want to be in anymore and you want to make a change, now's the perfect time while all this is going on to actually sit down, figure out what you want to do, and start moving towards that goal. Because what I'm seeing right now, a lot online, everybody's partying, the digital, you know, DJing parties and stuff like that. But then you notice these are the same people. How do I get into this industry? How do I do this? How do I do that? But then you see them online just, hey, you know, it's like there's no tomorrow. So if I was, you know, like for anyone out there, if you're trying to do any type of like career advancement or making some type of change, or just get creative and learn something new, now's the time to do it. And don't wait. Just my thought, my 2 cents.
Some people are thinking they're having extra holiday because in quarantine. Because where I live in Germany, there's no lockdown. There's this social distance rule that you cannot have more than 2 people walking together, and there's 6 feet distance from other people. Because for what I understand, the governor of this region put his foot down against Chancellor Merkel and the other guys, because he told, I think it's unofficial, that if you would have a lockdown in 3 or 4 months, when the lockdown would be over, there will be no economy. So there has to be an acceptable risk. So they have the supermarkets, they have the pharmacies, all the restaurants and the cafes, everything is closed down.
Yeah.
And you can leave your home, but you can only walk with one person close to you, or you should walk alone. So it's because now they're gonna be fines in place for the ones who don't keep the distance. But it was a solution, because I think his logic is, as a politician, if 3 months lockdown or something like that, if there's 45% unemployment or something like that, if Germany is dead, if this area, because this area of Germany has 18 million inhabitants from 80 million. So I think he put his foot down, and I think he wants some. I say he wants a middle road, that life has to go on. Life has to go on, and people are.
Well, like I said before, and I know you always say you put no price on human life, but ultimately we do. If we didn't, we would go ahead and set the speed limit around the country to be 15 miles per hour. It would drastically lower the number of deaths per year. And I know that sounds cold-hearted, but I'm kind of an odd fella.
Yeah, I think ultimately you're right.
Then again, that's easy for me to say because I'm in the risk bracket where I think I have like a 0.4% chance of dying, and that's, by the way, not a great statistic either, because ultimately we don't necessarily know that denominator, because when they do the listings of death, it's from people who have been diagnosed as having the coronavirus. There's probably a lot of asymptomatic carriers out there, or people who just don't go into the doctor, so they're never actually detected. So there's probably way more people in those stats, if we actually truly knew the true number, than what we have listed.
Well, people are not going, especially now, to hospitals because it's making them sicker. It's like when you go, you risk infection. You risk a lot when you go to the hospitals, which, you know, a lot of folks don't realize.
Yeah, but the general guidance now is if you feel the symptoms, you should.
Yeah, you should go. Or
No. You should call. You should call.
Call.
You should say that you're not feeling well. They're gonna take your address, and then they're gonna. The first approach is for you not to go to the hospital here, because if you feel a little bit of cough and fever, you should call a number, say I'm not feeling well, self-isolate, and then I think they should call every day, but I think they aren't calling. And only if you start feeling really bad, then you should go. Then you should call so they get you to take you to the hospital, because you should not go to, because now the hospitals have separate areas for corona and for respiratory people with respiratory problems. Or theoretically, I think it should be so. I don't know. So, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if you all seen this particular video. Let me see if I can bring this back up again.
Hey, I got mine. You seen this? He's like, oh my god. He's doing it. Oh my god. Nobody gives a fuck about Corona. The human centipede. Nobody gives a fuck about pink eye either. The human centipede. I like it. Hey, I got mine.
Let's pause that. So here's my conjecture on this, and people have different views, and I don't know if it actually worked. I sometimes wonder if you could build herd immunity by moving the most at-risk people, elderly, immune-compromised, etc., into isolation, then let young dumbasses who are at less risk do stuff like this, get sick but not die, then wait for them to for them to recover. By the way, credit to the Muslim Republican for posting that video. Did y'all see that video before?
No, first time.
No.
Butt chugging.
What?
Someone referred to it as butt chugging.
Chugging and butt cannot be in the same room.
I generally agree.
That's just like. Remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, when they had pumpkin butt or something. There was something with pumpkin spice latte, and people online were putting sprinkles on their naked behind and call it a pumpkin butt. It's like, okay.
Whoever invented those terms has a lot of time on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
They're probably working from home.
Pretty much.
They should volunteer for something. Pick litter on a park or something like that. Something useful for society.
By the way, Nelson, where exactly do you have your microphone? Because it seems like whenever you breathe out, you breathe into your microphone directly.
Is it better like this?
That's better, yes.
Okay, it was right. Thanks. It was right in front of my mouth.
Yeah, because it seems like whenever you breathed in and out, we would hear that. I'm just curious.
Sorry.
That's okay, man.
Sorry.
I need to do a microphone for this system or something because I found out how to do a loop back of whatever audio I'm hearing to go straight into OBS and go out, and that's better. Right now what it's doing is whenever someone says something, it's actually coming back in through my microphone and then out to OBS and out to YouTube. But that causes problems. Now, there is something else I can do. If I do direct audio, I can make it a lot better by doing this. Alright, you all say something, just so that it's a test, because I can't speak at the same time. Now, if I turn both up so you can both fit my microphone and the system in audio, actually, maybe I'm lied. It doesn't look like it's getting the system in audio. Crap, I don't know. Something is screwed up. I need to really mess with my settings some more. That's the biggest problem. I really wish, you know what I really wish? I really wish Hangouts had just stayed the way it was. We could stream directly to YouTube. Barring that, Jitsi was working for a while, but recently Jitsi can't stream to YouTube.
Jack says he can't hear anything.
Okay. How about now?
How about now?
I can hear it.
Well, yeah, but anybody that's on Jitsi can hear it. I'm talking about the YouTube stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He put it on the YouTube stream. Can't hear anything.
Yeah, maybe by Wednesday Jitsi will work. Yeah, I'm kind of doubting that. The only other tool I really got...
Oh, shoot!
What's up?
I'm sorry. Breaking news. Human malware passed away.
Human malware.
On Twitter.
Shit. Do we know of what?
I don't know.
I know. Like yesterday, someone asked me who died, and I thought it was a certain person's wife, but maybe it was human malware.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That just caught me by surprise.
Oh yeah, I know this. I've met this guy. I hung out with him in Indianapolis before.
Yeah.
For a brief time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, someone I know was messaging me the other day about who died, and maybe they were referring to human malware. I have another friend, his wife passed away, but I don't know if he wants it announced on the stream, so I'm going to keep that quiet for the time being.
If it's someone close, it's always bad, right? It's always bad when someone dies.
Yeah, and this guy is not that old. Human malware, I mean. I dare say he's younger than I am. He looks like he's maybe about 35.
Yeah.
That's young. That's really young.
Yeah, I don't know that's his actual age, but that's certainly he. Let me see how.
Dang. Damn. And he lived not too far from me. Well, okay, wow. Sorry, that kind of threw me off, but let's go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Well, Charles, how are you doing in lockdown?
I'm doing pretty good. What I've been doing as of late, like I did I did my first like stream. Just took my Twitch account one day, of course, a combination of OBS, and did a stream on learning. I went through Azeria's labs on ARM assembly. So I did that last week. This week, I'm actually going to do a stream on Rust programming and WebAssembly. So I'm just keeping myself busy that way. I've also cracked open some materials for myself for studying for the OSCE. now that I have this time. So I'm just spending some time doing that. And of course, with work, just keeping ourselves busy as well, too. And of course, rocking out with streams. Yep, yep.
I'm just occupying time, probably overeating, not doing nearly as much exercise around the house as I could. Then again, it wasn't like I was going to the gym that much when it was open. I've turned from Irongeek to Aluminum Geek.
The gym routine. The gym routine. I also lost it.
Oh my God, that was him. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm seeing news. So it was a wreck. It was I think it was a fatal single car crash in oh, that's not too far from me, dude. Dude. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. Sorry, continue. Just threw me off again.
Yeah, I sit here and do my work, and I listen to YouTube streams and so forth in the evening, and that's pretty much where I spend most of my time doing while I'm shut in. I don't know if I think you weren't here for this part of the cast, but Indiana is on some kind of lockdown. We're not supposed to go out except for necessary purposes, like going to work, going to get groceries, medical, helping someone else. From I think it's like close to midnight tonight until I want to say midnight April 7th. So I'm gonna be a little stir crazy because I live by myself.
But you always got us to chat with online.
Yep.
If you want.
Which is one of the reasons I'll probably be doing a few of these types of streams over the next couple of weeks. Doing the whole point thing. No, I called the last one 160.5. And this one, but I may start putting smaller numbers on it because I wasn't anticipating originally doing this one, which is why this is 160.6. Because 161 is going to be this Wednesday, tomorrow, and we'll be doing more technical topics. These little individual streams are more about just shooting the shit about what's going on in the news with Corona-chan.
Yeah, it's a wild scene, man.
I wonder if anybody's many Corona-chan stuffed animals yet. Oh, that's another thing that brings up to mind. Y'all ever eat? Y'all get properly stocked up for food and shit?
Yeah, somewhat.
A little bit. I have about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. But I don't understand the toilet paper thing.
Yeah, I don't understand that much. I mean, I want my bunghole to be clean, but there's a certain limit to how much I actually need.
No, it's because it's almost impossible. It's impossible. I don't need it yet, but it's. I've seen some pictures, and all the supermarkets I went to here, people bought all the toilet paper. I don't know what they're thinking. If we're gonna have if the society is going to break down, we're gonna need water filters, not toilet paper.
Yeah. I got my refrigerator stocked with a bunch of stuff that I actually like. Then previous roommates have left a bunch of canned food and rice around, and I have a lot of instant rice. I mean, instant rice cooks up for a long freaking time. I just ordered about 24 MREs. I don't know how many calories a piece from my buddy Mark. I also got some stuff from My Patriot Supplies. I think I used the Tim Pool discount code, and but that's not gonna be here for a while because they're so back ordered. But hopefully the MREs I got ordered from Mark would be here fairly soon.
That's military.
Well,
food, right?
yeah, this company that he's getting them from is the same ones that make some of the military ones, but these ones are packaged for civilians. But they're nifty because they have their own heating unit built into them, where you put a little water in this pouch, and it heats up everything for you. And some of them, I've had some MREs like that before, and they're not too bad. And they come out to be about $8 a pop for each meal. I just kind of like them just because I think they're fun to play with.
But it's meat. It's meat, fish.
There's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things. You might have something like, I don't know, Cajun gumbo. You might have something like oh crap. Let me look up an MRE menu. Because I know the official military one in the United States changes fairly regularly. MRE menu. The ones he's sending me, I don't even know. It's going to be a crapshoot what I actually get. But menu 2016. It's probably a newer one. Chili with beans, cornbread. Let's open this thing up. Alright. Chili with beans, cornbread. Right. See, they have a bunch of these little packages inside of it. And those are the main entree, and there's a bunch of other stuff. Like this one has barbecue beef, seasoned black beans, jalapeno, cheddar cheese spread, and a few other things. And I want to say there's a certain item that people really like. It might be this cheese spread. Do you remember, Charles? Now, we need Jack on here because Jack has military experience and he might know. Because my understanding there's a certain items in some of the MREs that people would constantly want to trade because everybody liked them. And they became like currency. Oh, my brother tells me until April 6th for Indiana. I'm pretty sure I read 7th, but okay.
But they're gonna have to prolong it for sure. They're gonna have to prolong it.
Alright. Hector Lopez says in the chat, a lot of deepfakes spreading malware with the coronavirus subject here in Mexico. Some politicians and influencers take the most dramatic pictures and share them online with apocalyptic names. I'm not sure if that counts as a deepfake. Deepfake is usually when you make a video and you replace faces and so forth. Other subject that the people doesn't cover in Mexico is the spreading of the famous called Saqueso. The people who use WhatsApps to make groups in order to steal big brands like Cheddarari and Walmart's. Heck, let's go continuing. If we had that enough information, the security police whose groups doesn't have the chance to meet and rob a lot of stores. I like that you keep on hacking and business online. It's a great example. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think I understand what he means. Because,
yeah, and I may be misreading. That's not necessarily his writing. I'm just stuttering it as I read it too.
No, because I know that what he means was there was a couple of cases a few years ago that in Europe that was 200 or 300 of those teenagers, kids that would meet up and they would run a Walmart or one of those electronics shops, and if you have 200 or 300 or 400 kids running with stuff, the security guards don't have a chance of getting everyone. They just catch 3 or 4, and they steal half of the supermarket. Just in IT wise, they get a WhatsApp group and they invite lots of people that don't know each other, and it's a massive thing, and they go and they do a supermarket run or one of those electronics stores runs. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. They clear a store. It's a scheduled riot. A scheduled riot or something like that.
Kind of a very bad type of flash mob.
Yeah, it's a flash mob, exactly. A flash mob to shoplift. A shoplifting flash mob.
Yeah, I know some places here in the United States, the cops have said that they won't enforce petty burglary or some things unless it involves violent crime, which is just asking for people to go out and do this shit. Because you can see a lot of young people they're doing various dumb shit. So the idea of robbing a place would hardly be the limits.
Yeah, because the problem of the police, it's even when they're called, since those shoplifters and all, they aren't armed, they can't use much force. They can't use much force because they're grabbing stuff and they're trying to run off with them, right? So.
Now, personally, I'm okay with shooting shoplifters, but that's me. I'm an American.
Well, I'm an European, but I have a gun permit.
Oh, cool.
I have a gun permit and I have lots of trouble about it. Lots of grief about it.
It calls you. Why does it? Are they very? I take it they're very anti-gun where you are.
Yeah, because I'm a shotgun owner. Shotgun, and I used to, you know those. I used to do that sort of clay pigeon sport. I used to, because I come from the south, and in the south of Portugal we like guns, and we shoot a lot and all that. And I got that from my grandfather and all the guys. We would go to the shooting range and drink some beers and all that.
Okay, now in my culture, shooting's fine, drinking beer is fine, but we can't do the two together.
No, we do it together.
Oh shit, that's not good. I have a few shotguns myself, but I live in America, so shotguns are the very least of what I have access to.
Yeah.
AR-15s, AK-47s, Glock 17s, 1911s, modified 1911s. I mean, I just whatever I want. M1 Garand.
Yeah, I don't even. How should I say? Portugal is a relatively poor country, and for me to maintain my permit, every year I need to take a weekend and go to the doctor, to speak with the doctor, so the doctor gives me a health clearance that I'm not crazy.
Okay.
I need every year, and then I have to go to the shooting range while the police sees if all the ones who want their license renewed, the police is watching if we are following the security regulations.
Or safety regulations?
Security regulations that you're following, that you know how to load a gun.
Well, wait, I'd call that, generally I just use the word safety regulations.
Safety. Okay, safety regulations.
Yeah, we don't have to take that kind of test here in Indiana.
You don't have to do it?
No. It's a shall issue unless you have a felony or something else. Generally speaking, you can just go in and get yourself a concealed carry license. I've got one.
For example, I have a 12 gauge license, and if I get I'm pretty limited in the shotguns I can legally buy, and those shotguns that you can have 4 or 5 cartridges in the in the load. I don't know how to say it.
In the
when you
tube?
In the tube, exactly. I can never have more than 2 in the tube.
Oh shoot! I think most of the shotguns I have will probably hold 5 in the tube. I got
Exactly.
I got one that it has 2 tubes that you can alternate between, so you can put slugs in one, shot in the other, and it will hold a grand total if you're using normal size shotgun shells, corrugate shotgun shells, 14 rounds total.
Yeah, I, I was I was thinking of getting a couple of years ago. I was thinking of getting a Benelli M4, but it's not a civilian can't have it. We cannot have it's. I should say in the end, because the regulations here, because here a citizen, it's really we don't have the tradition for guns that you guys in America have.
Yeah, my uncle had some really nice. My uncle had some really nice trap guns, but I sold most of those because I don't go out shooting trap. I think I kept one of his Browning autos. I kept like a Sears and Roebuck pump action of his, a different pump action which I don't remember what it was, and then I got the KSG. I've been thinking about getting one of those magazine loaded, like either AR-12s or one of those Soggy 12s that you can put 10 rounds in a magazine and load it into the shotgun.
Because I used to do a lot of trap. It was my thing.
I've done a little bit. It was a lot of fun. One of my first jobs as a kid was loading trap for my uncle at his conservation club. So I'd be sitting there putting the clay pigeon on and trying to make sure my hand didn't get smacked by the swinging arm, the thing that throws it out into the air. And they got me in this little bunker out in front of everybody that's shooting, in this little concrete bunker, so I don't get my head blown off. Fun times.
And it was good that you never got out of the bunker while they were shooting.
No, I think they sent someone out. I thought it's been we're talking about something that happened like probably 30 years ago. So I'm thinking they sent someone out to the bunker to get me, so they would know when they stopped shooting, and then someone like my uncle would come out and say, "Hey, Adrian, get back out."
Okay. They were taking really good care of you. So
But yeah, people were shooting shotguns over my head, technically.
Yeah, because people don't understand. People don't understand because when at least where I come from, whenever you want to kick or you want to do something to somebody, you're not going to use your gun because you're going to have lots of problems if you shoot him. So you better kick him or something like that.
So I'm assuming that Portugal doesn't have handguns at all? Hardly?
I think the maximum, because a 9 caliber, it's police and military grade. No, because there's lots of guns, but it's only for the police and for the military. For example, in Germany, they're a little bit more flexible about it.
My uncle left me a whole bunch of stuff when he passed away, and yeah, in America we got like everything. Most powerful handgun I've got is like a 44 Magnum, and quite frankly, that's plenty of powerful because I think like something like what is it? At the time it was created, I think it was the most powerful handgun, but the things like the what is it? The 50 caliber Action Express, like the Desert Eagle. But a lot of those really big caliber handguns are so large themselves, you might as well carry a rifle.
No, a couple of years ago, I thought I had I was doing IT supports from Portugal out to Texas, and I had some buddies there, and they was always saying, "Nelson, come over and you can go to the shooting range with us," and all that. But I think some of them were militia and all that. But so I think it wasn't a good idea for me to go to the U.S.
Well, in my area, you don't have to be some kind of militia or whatever. Just everybody. It seems like a lot of tons of people have guns. The guy bought my MREs from actually, He does a lot of shooting with his AR-15. He's going out coyote hunting.
Okay. With AR-15s.
With an AR-15, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a coyote is what, the size of a mid-sized dog?
Mm-hmm.
And some places are nuisance animals because they come in and eat people's livestock.
Mm-hmm.
So up in, he lives in Michigan, but like my staying in northern Indiana, it's a bit of a problem. And my buddy Mary, she lives, I think, about an hour and a half north of me. And apparently there's coyotes that come up on her land. My buddy was going to hunt those, but it never came through. And I think she has neighbors that are just close enough that might be a problem. But
Because, for example, I know that in France and in some European countries, there's a wild boar sort of. They're also one of those nuisance animals, and they need hunters. They need hunters because someone who goes and kill the wild boar. But I don't have a hunting permit. I have a sporting permit. So, and for you to hunt wild boar, you have to be really careful because if one of those if he gets you on your feet or something like that, it's going to be really bad.
yeah, my thing, a boar can tear into you. My uncle actually killed a boar way back when. I don't remember what exactly. I gave his head to my favorite pub, but now I don't know where the head is because they took it off the wall. I want to find out where it is because if they're not going to use it, I want to find a place for my uncle's boar's head.
Yeah.
I don't go hunting though, but in the United States, yeah, there is certain licensing involved, and there's like a tag limit because I think there's a limit to like how many deer you can harvest and so forth. There's some places that limit's probably way higher because deer are also a nuisance animal in parts of the United States because they end up running into roads and people crash into them and it causes auto accidents.
Exactly, because you also have deer.
We got rid of a lot of the wolves, and so that was a natural predator. So now we have a shitload of deer in various places. So deer are hardly an endangered species in most parts of the United States, I think. Or at least, well, the parts I live in. I can go to a park that's about 2 miles away from me right now, and every time I walk out there, pretty much, I see a couple of deer.
Yeah, we got a lot of deer up in New York.
I'm about to sneeze. Luckily, I'm by myself, so I'm not going to spread my germs to anybody else.
All right, guys. It was Adrian. Good talking to you, man. I gotta go.
All right. Talk to you later, doctor.
I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'll probably do a few more of these isolation streams for.
All right. Hit me up on Facebook. I sent you a request.
Alrighty. Oh wait. To which one? Irongeek or to Adrian Crenshaw?
That Adrian Crenshaw.
Adrian Crenshaw. Okay. Can do.
All right. See you guys.
Talk to you later. Oh, by the way. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm responding to my brother in the chat. Oh, by the way, Bedford, if you're listening to this still, yeah, ask Amy about the head, and I wouldn't mind getting it back. I'll find somebody to mount that thing someplace. Also, from the article I posted just a bit ago, it looks like it's 7. Sorry, the 7th. That the that curfew thing ends in curfew. That lock-in thing happens in Indiana. I'm not drinking. I'm still slurring my speech. It's not good. Though I can imagine there's going to be a whole lot of people getting drunk throughout this entire quarantine time because they're stuck at home with nothing to do. How much of a drinking culture does Portugal have? Nelson? Well, Nelson's gone too. All by myself. Oh, there's Nelson. He's back. conversing with my brother in the chat to see about getting that boar's head in my uncle's back, because I'm gonna find someplace to have it mounted. Who knows? Maybe I'll just bring it back in here into my house and mount it on the wall. Or there's a different pub I can give it to. How's your audio working? Okay, apparently the Indiana lockdown thing ends on the 6th at 11:59, so technically not the 7th. That makes some sense. I know this is real captivating listening for everybody. I've put the link out there if anybody else wants to join in and occupy some time. If not, I'm going to shoot the shit by myself in the next 10 minutes, and if no one joins, I may just cut this off at 2 hours. I see Nelson looks like he's connected, but I'm not hearing anything from him, so I think he may be muted or having connection issues. Ah, yes, Nelson's messaging me, and he's having some bandwidth issues. Alright, have a good night. Have a good night, Nelson. Alright, Hector Lopez is asking me, Adrian, do you know about if the hospitals use a lot of SCADA systems there in the U.S.? Honestly, I do not know. I am personally not a big expert on SCADA systems. There's a guy named Chris Sistrunk, who I'd probably ask that question to if you can find him. He seems to be pretty knowledgeable on that sort of thing. Alright. Dude said he sent me an invite, but I'm not seeing it. I have 2 different accounts. That's I don't use the one that has the penguin icon. I use a different one. So if Doctor sent it to the wrong one, I may not see it. Well, that brings up the question of what happens if I go on my phone and see if I can find it. Alright, kill that. Oh, see, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let me see what we got. Did I have anything else that I wanted to show off? Yeah, Hector. Yeah, check out Chris Sistrunk. Let me see if I can find Chris's exact spelling of his name. Yeah, this is the dude, Chris Sistrunk. I'll go ahead and paste that in the chat so you have it. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy on SCADA, way more than I am, that's for damn certain. He might be able to answer that question. Okay. Oh, I started to talk earlier about resources I like for tracking coronavirus spread and so forth. Now if I can just get this thing to actually reload. Well, it's being a pain in the ass. This one is that GIS A&D data, and I have the link in the show notes, but it lays out a really nice map of infections around the world, and it doesn't seem to stay quite as up to date as this World Meters info site, but it's usually pretty good. I've also seen some cases where I've seen people post screenshots of stuff from this World Meters .info site, and I would go out and check out the site at the almost exact same time, and the data is like lower than what the screenshot said. So I'm thinking sometimes they adjust things. Close that one down. MREs, MREs. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say. I had a couple of line items inside that note section of mine to show people, but I think I'm about to get off here and watch some more YouTube until I finally feel like going to sleep and passing out. Everybody, I appreciate you joining me, and I may do another one of these. If you're interested, like message me or something, and I'll make sure you get an invite to it, just to have some people to chat with on a lonely evening when you're isolated in your house. Everyone, have a good night. Talk to you later.